So I've been wanting to make this video for a while. See, Netflix has a very bad fumbling problem. It's kind of weird. I mean, they've fumbled shows in the past, like Walking Dead. I mean, dude, that how that show ended was not the yeah, well, I guess that's AMC, and I could say The Flash, but I think that's CW, so it's a little different. When we're talking about Netflix, like original shows, you've seen the thumbnail with Umbrella Academy and Stranger Things. The big thing for me is that I'll talk about Umbrella Academy in a little bit, but Stranger Things was my favorite show. Before season 5 released, Stranger Things was literally my favorite show, and the weird part is, I watched Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul and The Boys and all the other shows and Dexter, and I know a lot of people are gonna disagree with me, and you know what? That's fair, because I think if you think about it, like objectively, yeah, maybe Stranger Things is worse, but like I don't know, man. Season 1 of Stranger Things was the best viewing experience for a season of a show I've ever watched. I mean, the way the characters interact with each other, the dynamics is top tier. I've seen, honestly, you get that in other shows, but the way they do it in Stranger Things, it was just so good. But man, I mean, I'm gonna go through it, I guess, season by season. I guess I should start by saying Steve is my overall favorite character of the show. And man, in season 1, and I've seen videos about it, how it was so like original, and you could see there's so much mystery to it. And I know with a mystery show, there's gonna be that big problem of finding out the mystery, which that's a whole thing. But man, season 2 was also really good. Part of the Cali episode, and they just had such a good thing going. And even season 3, I know there was that, I know a lot of people didn't like season 3, but I think that all that retro stuff, all the neon stuff, yeah, I guess it's kind of hard to explain what I mean by that, but they did it right. Whatever they were going for, they did it right. It did feel a little unserious, and it felt a little worse than season 1 and 2. But you know what? It was good. The characters felt like themselves. I liked the story. I did. Then season 4 came along, and I actually had a really bad problem with season 4. I liked like the plot. It felt scary again because season 3 didn't really feel scary. Like there's a whole like sub community of people that just talk about how scary the show used to be, and I get what they mean when they say it, because the Mind Flayer used to be like scary. Same thing with the Demogorgon. The Demo Dogs were never really that scary to me, but Vecna was in season 4. My biggest problem with season 4, though, was Dustin. It was less apparent with other characters, but Dustin Henderson just didn't feel the same. Like season 3 to season 4. A similar thing happens in season 5 where he feels different, but it actually makes sense because I'll go over that in a sec. But dude, in season 4, he just felt different. Didn't feel as real. I guess same thing with Mike, but that really happens earlier. Like in season 1, he was like my favorite character. But the only like one of the main 5 that I think really stayed true and is really good in every single season, and I know, like I'm talking about the main 5: Lucas, Will, Mike, Dustin, and Mill, or um, 11. I think it's Lucas. Lucas is like the most consistently good character in the whole show. If you're talking about the main 5, obviously it's Steve. Okay, it's obviously Steve. Steve is, everybody's favorite character is Steve, and that's for a good reason. It's just like HR in the Flash, except with HR, I like Barry more than HR, even though there's no main character in Stranger Things, so Steve is my favorite. If there was, it'd probably be, I don't know. But yeah, season 4. I mean, some of the characters didn't really feel like themselves, but it did feel like Stranger Things. It just felt like a darker Stranger Things, even though not that much people died. I know that's a big thing. I honestly, it's not just Stranger Things, and it's not just Netflix. You don't fumble a show by not killing off the characters just by that, but it's a big factor. And I saw it in interviews where the actors kind of begged them to kill off the characters. which it's good storytelling because in a horror show, a mystery show, a thriller show, an action show, there needs to be stakes, and if you know a character is not going to die, what's the point of danger? But that's a whole thing. In season 5 is the weirdest season of Stranger Things for me, and I thought it would be season 4 just because of how different some of the characters felt, especially Dustin. Season 5 though was so weird because it started off so good. Like I know people didn't like episode 1 that much of season 5, but if we go to episode 4, dude, like maybe I disagree with some of the like stuff about the middle dimension and how there's the tree and all that stuff. I might be like, hey, I'm not that much of a fan of it, but dude, it felt so like, dude, season 5, episode 4, that was an amazing episode. I think you can look at it in the ratings, dude. Up to that point, that season 5 felt like amazing. Yes, there were some problems, but you really could ignore them. But dude, I swear, dude, chapter 2 and chapter 3 of season 5, dude, there's so many problems. I mean, the military sucked. The villain, I don't know if we're talking about Vecna or the military leader. The military leader sucked. Vecna like was so cool in the first part, but then in the other two parts, I don't know if they nerfed him or something. But dude, I mean, there's the stuff with the bats and dude, like the way he looks in the first part of season 5 and the way he looked in the third part made no sense to me. I mean, there's just so much the big monster just having that happen. There was the whole thing with conformity gate, which I mean, I understand why people would invent that because, man, you just a show with that amount of quality. A lot of people didn't like Stranger Things, but for me, someone who really did, I have posters in my room of it. Dude, season 5 turned Stranger Things into my favorite show. Into like not it's still a good show to me. But dude, like the ending, I like the fact that so much people want it to be fake. Maybe there'll be a secret episode. Maybe this video will age poorly, but dude, I mean, they said it'd be a dark season. They didn't kill everybody off. I guess a big part of it, a lot of people, some people liked this, some people didn't, is the whole Holly thing. I think with a show like Stranger Things, it's kind of reminds me of South Park. South Park is also a show that's kind of gone downhill, especially since the Integrity Farms bit. I think when you center the show around a certain character, you like, if you center a show around a group of characters or a character in the earlier seasons, and you set your fans around those characters, you basically get the fandom to like those characters. You don't suddenly go and show another character, and then don't show the others. Like in South Park, you know, I don't care about politics. I have family who do. Obviously, I care a little bit, but there's that whole thing with Donald Trump and dude, Donald Trump or not, Integrity Farms, the new season, all that stuff. I don't like a version of South Park that's super canonical. That one thing was cool with the Hunt guy, Gerald. I think that was cool. It's a long tangent, but my whole thing is, dude, you gotta center when you do a show around a certain characters, you follow those characters, dude. With the Trump thing, they just focused on him, and honestly, Integrity Farms does the same thing. You don't just focus on Randy. Randy was a side character. I know a lot of people like him, but keep him a side character. You can't. There's not a lot of shows where you can make a show based off a side character. It's been done before with Better Call Saul. Great. I mean, great show. Some people say it's better than Breaking. I think I said that. I don't know if I said that, but some people think Better Call Saul is better than Breaking Bad, and some people think it's the other way around. In my opinion, it just feels like the same show. If I had to say which one is better, man, to watch the enjoyability, it would be Better Call Saul just because they make you really hate Skyler. But I just feel like instead of arguing about what show is better, just say, hey, they're in the same universe. Like they're the same. They're practically like in. They're not interchangeable, but the storyline of the Breaking Bad universe, like Things happen in Better Call Saul that are in between scenes in Breaking Bad. Like these shows are basically the same thing. So yeah, that's a side character. I like the whole Trump thing, whether you hate him or whether you like him or neutral about him. I don't want to see him every single episode. I want to see Kyle, Stan, Kenny, and Eric Cartman. Same thing for Stranger Things. Stranger Things, they added a bunch of characters, which is fine if you get the main characters going. Honestly, you could say make the same point for Steve that he got more screen time, but it was a gamble that worked because everybody likes Steve. But dude, Holly was a gamble, and she's a good actor and all, but dude, to make the whole season, like she has so much screen time in it, and I get why they did it, but to change the formula in the season finale of the show, I mean, dude, that's another wrong thing. Vecna just saddens me, dude. In season 4, his speech, there was none of that in the second and third part of season 5. It really did feel like they were going to lose. They made it seem like that even when Will got powers. Like it was just a fumble. It was the biggest fumble, and I mean even more than Umbrella Academy, which I will talk about in a sec. I don't understand how. Uh, like I get the whole thing that they didn't write the script, but did it's just I get the thing with the wife. Like, how do you do that from season 1 to season 5? Like how? Like watch season 1 again if you have. Like I've watched the entire show maybe 3 or 4 times, and maybe 5 or 6. It could be 8. It's not 10. Season 1 is super rewatchable, up to a point, obviously, but it's so much like the mystery, and there's so much videos that comment on it. So watch some of those, but yeah, the season 5. I mean, you look at some of the pictures that look like they're green screen. I mean, dude, the fact that they had more, I guess here's my main thing. The fact that they had more money to make season 5 and less money to make season 1, and season 1 is definitely 2 times better than season 5. And I'm not gonna say 3 because of the first part of season 5 was really good. I mean, yeah, it was really good. But yeah, I mean that's Stranger Things though. Netflix fumbled that show. I used to think it was my favorite show. Honestly, if they do Conformity and they fix all the problems, it'll become my favorite show again. But that's not gonna happen because, well, obviously I don't think they pre-planned something like that. I don't think there's a secret episode. They could film something later, but dude, I mean, you just the fumble's crazy. I don't know, and I know they're gonna do, or they did that animated series. I don't know. They lost their soul. I think that's the big thing. They lost their soul. Which actually, I do want to talk about Umbrella Academy now because while Stranger Things lost its soul, honestly, the characters were still good. So like, bear with me here. I'm just talking about really part 2 and part 3. Not saying that part 1 doesn't have. Part 1 of chapter 5 of Stranger Things doesn't have problems with part 2 and part 3. Oh my gosh, fumble, biggest fumble. But Umbrella Academy felt weird because the thing with Umbrella Academy is season 1 was really good. Season 2 was just a little bit worse. Then season 3 was also just a little bit worse. But they were all 3 really good seasons, really solid. I actually rewatched Umbrella Academy, and it was better than my first watch, which did not happen for like most other shows I've watched. The pacing, like what Stranger Things does with character dynamics, Umbrella Academy does with pacing. I mean, it is such a easy show to watch, and it's just so excited. Now I don't know. I think I'm talking about season 4 for Umbrella Academy, the final season. Like, dude, so it's the fact that they made the episodes go down and they smushed a bunch of things. They made characters go away, like Alice's husband and Luther's wife, which should happen in season 3. Some stuff just felt so weird, especially the last episode, or the big monster at the end just felt so like I could say cliche, but you can actually do that right. I feel like they just did it so wrong. Um, it did feel like it had some type of soul. Like it still did feel like Umbrella Academy, which I actually like because Stranger Things Season 5, it didn't feel like Stranger Things. Umbrella Academy, it's still kind of like, I could still get it that it was in there, especially with the Santa Claus with the machine guns. Like, I got that it was still Umbrella Academy. It just felt like, I don't know, it felt like they lost it. Like, it was still them, they just lost it, you know? But that's what happens when you get out characters and you lose screen time and you have a bad script. Actually, there is one part of that, like, just like season 5 of Stranger Things and part 1, episode 4, I really liked the Umbrella Academy part where 5 goes to the diner with all the fives. I thought that was really cool. Like, I thought that was pretty neat. Other stuff was like okay. It just felt weird, dude. It felt really weird. Um, the ending was also just an odd way to end the show, and I will call it a fumble because it was a bad way to end the show. I didn't talk about this with Stranger Things yet, but a similar thing happened. Some of the actors were just gone. Max's mom, which didn't come to visit her in the hospital. Yeah, I don't know. There's stuff with that. Missing characters from both shows. The stakes. Netflix, both fumbles of Umbrella Academy and Stranger Things. I wouldn't say that they're too scared to kill off the characters because Umbrella Academy did kill off the all of the Academy, which you know, not killing anyone and then killing everyone in two shows that you fumble. It's just like why, I feel like when you want to make a character's death meaningful, you don't kill off everybody. You don't Obviously if you kill off no one, there's no stakes, and if you kill off everyone, you're like, well, show's over. In Stranger Things, I think that a lot of people. Let me just say this: in Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, a lot of people talked about how good they did the mental breakdown or whatever. In Stranger Things, they used to do grief awesome. Like grief used to be very like season 1 where Barb dies, where you see the aftermath in season 1 and season 2 with Nancy. That's good. Like that's how you show grief. That was like super. Like the same thing with Bob Newby. The callbacks where Joyce was eating the frozen dinner. Like, dude, that was sad. That's how you handle that stuff. I mean, people think some watchers of Stranger Things are schizophrenic because of how it ended. Like, I keep coming back to Stranger Things and going over Umbrella Academy. Like, dude, it just both shows just super big fumbles. I don't get it. That obviously it's different, and you can't make a show always perfect. You see that with even though Breaking Bad's with the highest, like I guess over everyone, people think it's the best. I guess that maybe is a TikTok opinion or Instagram opinion, but I think with all the Oscars or Emmys or whatever they're called, it had Fly, which is a 7.9 or 8, and yeah, I just don't get it. I really don't. Actually, it's the landscape's weird. You know, honestly, maybe my new favorite show is Loki. But the weird thing with Loki, actually, probably the weirdest thing with Loki, I'll go over this for a second. Then, low key, had a. It was just the most surprising show I've ever watched. I mean, season 1 was like really good. It had some bad parts, but the TVA I thought was awesome. And then season 2 dropped, and I'm like, wow, what a season. If we were like, sorry, I guess we as in you, me, and you, whoever the watcher is. Maybe there's nobody watching. Maybe this video has 0 views eternally. But the fact, if you had just season 2, and it was just season 2, there was no season 1, it'd probably be my favorite show. I mean, that show, that season, oh my gosh, it was amazing. Season 1 was also amazing. Had some bad, I don't know, Loki's, that's a crazy show. But Netflix, if you're watching this, you're not. Let's be realistic. Um, you can't do anything. Maybe invent a time machine, or get the entire population of people that want Conformity Gate to be true and get them together in a writing room and fix every single mistake from season 5 and then put it in a what is it? I don't know how much episodes. Add an episode and make it 50 hours, and I don't know. Don't do that. I don't know. Maybe do that. I don't know. You can't fix Umbrella Academy though. I don't think you could. There's just certain stuff you can't do. But yeah, it's pretty late. I hope this was something. I coughed a lot during this making of this video. I don't know why. Talk weird. I'll see y'all.